The little show about big things, everybody. I hope you're doing well. And boy, do we got a great show for you. Look who's in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
My house.
Ron Onesti, this is your house. We are here today, folks. Welcome, everybody, for joining the show. I hope you guys are having a great time. And we have a great show lined up for you guys today. Now, folks, today is Tuesday, January 18th. We're right into January. Let's just start off real fast by saying every show is dedicated to the first responders, the doctors, the nurses, the firemen, the policemen. Of course, let's not forget the lawyers. I'm not the lawyers, the teachers and the farmers.
Yes,
but mostly of all, it's mostly important to you. That's right. Thank you guys very much. We got a great show lined up. We are here live at the Club Arcata Speakeasy, downtown St. Charles, with the great Ron Onesti. Now, folks, check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, to book a show. Give us a call at 847-769-8609. Remember, every Tuesday, except for today, is call in. You call in, we'll answer your questions and do whatever you need. So, okay, this is going to be a great show. We have a lot of stuff. Now, usually we talk about a lot of stuff, but the hour is on Ronnie. So it's got to be like, this is your life. So it's going to be very cool. So, but before we get going, folks, let's make sure that we take care of, someone just let one go in the bathroom. Someone was eating something. Don't forget our sponsors, folks, right there. Eco Solar Solutions, where you always save more energy. And when you save more energy, you save more money. 630-345-2964. Don't forget, folks, you can also catch us on Twitter. There it is right there if you need to follow us on Twitter. And you can also subscribe to YouTube with Ocean's Pit. All right, let's get another sponsor away before we bring Ronnie in. Of course, Don Esteban Cigars out of Tarpon Springs, Florida. Hand rolled. They send them right to your house. Call Javier at 727-366-7536, folks. And let's go. Don't forget our good buddies at Trico Hair Experts out of Rosemont, Illinois. Forget the hats, forget the comb overs, forget the sprays. Anthony and Carmela do an incredible job. As you can see, this is not real. But I got Ron. You look incredible. There you go. Anyway, give them a call. There you go. They are from Rosemont, Illinois. 773-999-7888. And you got to love them, man. They are family owned, and which is the best part about it. How about Airtight Windows? They're right, folks. Siding and specialist, family owned for the last 30 years for honesty and quality. Do it right with Airtight. 708-788-5000. Ocean's Pit live here at the Club Arcata Speakeasy, downtown St. Charles. You know what time it is? It's showtime.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. And now, your host, Mr. Tony Ocean.
Thank you, Nelson. And we're live at the Speakeasy in downtown St. Charles with Ron Onesti. A couple things, folks, you got to let people know about. Don't forget, folks, that we're going to be in Florida, kicking off the Windy City Boys. That's right, Windy City Boys. Greg Reaney, yours truly, and a little Bobby Valley music. That's going to be, folks, at March 11th at the Venice Community Center. Then March 12th and 13th will be at Joey D's in Marco Island. Then packing it up and going to Chicago West Fest. On the 18th of March, will be in Mesa, Arizona, and the 19th will be in Chandler, Arizona. Chicago food, Ocean's Rat Pack. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's in Arizona, folks. We're having fun.
Awesome.
We're going to have fun, Ron.
That's awesome.
Ron, you are here.
I'm here.
And thank you for being on. Well, you know how it is, man. You're a busy man. I want to thank you all for coming on the show. We really do appreciate it, my man. Sure. And you got a lot of things brewing. That's for sure. I got a bunch of things for you, folks. First of all, let's get down here, Ronnie. People know you, some people don't. Where were you born?
Born on Taylor Street in Chicago, right there, 1020 Southwestern, right at Taylor and Western, about 100 years ago. One thing I did want to touch on real quick, though, I love how you honor the first responders.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're very big about that. All our shows, or whether it's displays or in St. Charles before a show, we'll recognize the first responders, our military, our veterans, all our heroes. And a few weeks ago, actually, now at this point, I read in the Daily Herald about some nurses that they were in for some kind of convention. There's about a dozen of them, and they went to this fast food joint kind of locally, and it was so packed, and they were so short staffed because that's where the world is right now.
Sure.
These nurses could not get served, and they just waited an hour and a half, and just like what nurses do in the face of danger, they rolled up their sleeves and they started helping the restaurant, started helping them serve. And they never got the burgers, but they worked for about 3-4 hours and helped the restaurant. And
They got
so-
something to go, I hope.
I don't know, man, but
Give a coupon or
But,
a gift certificate or something.
what we're doing because of that, we're doing on January 28th at the Arcata Theater. It's an all nurses, only nurses night. It's a free show. It's ABBA Mania that we're doing, Dancing Queen. It's all night of ABBA music, and who doesn't love ABBA and
Everybody.
dancing? And,
Actually, they just got a new record out.
yes, that's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal. So if you go on oshows.com, you go on our website, you still need tickets,
Yeah.
but the tickets are free. But it's all nurses. So if you know any nurses out there, let them know, because we're inviting them all. We want a full house of nurses to recognize the heroes that nurses really are.
Now that's male nurses and female nurses.
Oh,
Any
of course,
nurses whatsoever.
of course.
I'm just,
Or
throwing out
anything
there.
else, male, female, or anything else.
Anything
really.
else. Yeah, whatever it is. That's a good cause for their first responders. We do a lot of those
Yeah.
every year, and it's very important. Ron, your family's been around a long time. I want to ask you something. I know your dad was a tailor. Great guy, used to make all your suits for you.
Yeah.
When did that whole sporting
Oh, Softball City.
Yeah, how did that come about?
I played semi-pro baseball until I was 33 years old, and we could never get like the right uniforms or the right equipment. I mean, at the time, you recall, we had Sport Mart, of course, and we had Herman Sporting Goods. Remember those guys?
Sure.
But it wasn't specialty, and so I got into the business of just supplying uniforms to my friends and my teams, and it really blew up. And we got to be third largest in the state with regards to supplying equipment for baseball and softball. It was called Onesti Softball City. It was on Irving Park, and we did it in the 80s for about 15 years. And because of that, actually, my brother and I are actually inductees into the 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame. And
Very
usually I
cool.
say that and I stop there, so people think I'm this massive softball player. But the reality is,
Did you ever play softball?
no. So the reality is, first of all,
It's okay.
I played league ball,
All right.
but we're inductees into the Hall of Fame because we're like pioneers, and we actually because we sponsored the tournaments and we provided all the uniforms for all the big players like Lettuce Entertain You,
Sure.
and really cool stuff, and in the 80s, and so we're kind of credited to keeping the sport going back in the 80s and giving it a little kick in the butt.
Yeah.
And we're very proud to be a part of the 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame that's in Franklin Park.
That was a big thing. Growing up Italian, Ron, you had a lot of. You spoke Italian, obviously, with your family. Right?
No.
Never did.
And I know your mom. You
But
and
they
your mom
wanted to
did.
keep the English. They wanted to keep the English.
At the time. So my mom came from Florence in 1959 or so. I'm born in 62. And that time, it wasn't cool to be Italian. You came to America and you wanted to be American.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, my name is Ronald. My brother's Richard. My sister's Victoria. My mom didn't want the Italian names. She wanted
Sure.
English names.
Yeah.
So that's how it was then. Now it's cool to be Italian.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't. So I didn't grow up. I know it. I speak Italian
Yeah.
now because my own love for the language and
Sure.
passion for the culture. But I didn't grow up speaking Italian.
Well, it was tough because when my name was Maurizio, and I used
Maurizio.
to get a lot of flack in school because they didn't know how to pronounce it. They would call you Morris
No,
and
sure.
Maurice, and then so you got then someone finally gave me the name Mo, and it stuck. But yeah, so it's difficult. And did you ever try to push your kids into learning another language?
Yeah, I mean, we speak as much as like my in-laws speak pretty much only Italian. And we had dinner the other night there. It was so nice. My 16-year-old daughter was talking to my father-in-law and mother-in-law, and they were talking Italian. And she's got it. She's brought up with it, so it's inherent in her more than I was. That's for sure.
Well, let me ask you, what is this whole promo with festivals or just trying to come up with that idea? Where did it all come from? Did someone approach you, or you said it to yourself? This is what I want to do, because either that or politics. I thought you were gonna go into.
It was actually
Right.
I was put up for alderman at one time.
Okay,
and I pulled
okay,
back. I did
all right.
not want to do that.
Okay.
My dad told me. I asked my dad. They wanted to run me for alderman 38th ward before Cullerton was in there, around the Billy Banks 36 ward years. And my dad said, "You know what? You're too honest." I said, "Okay." So I didn't do it. But you know what? You asked if I was approached or if I decided. The answer is really neither. It's really an evolution with me. I didn't set out. I want to be this or that. I actually want to be either a baseball player
Yeah.
or a chemist when I grew up.
Okay.
And but obviously I'm neither. And it just evolved. One thing led to another. I started doing in high school. I was that guy, student council, homecoming chairman, prom chairman.
So you always had your hands in every little bit of
Yeah.
it. Just like you do now. Things
Okay.
haven't changed.
Yeah, right.
Ocean Spit, the little show about big things, folks. We are live downtown St. Charles Club Arcata Speakeasy. Right now, we are in the Charlie Chaplin room.
Yeah.
and there's a bunch of different rooms. And Ron, and if you haven't been here, folks, in a while, they've done a big whole rehab of the whole place.
Yeah,
I mean,
huge.
a nice dance floor and more bathrooms and everything. How is the theater and everything going here? And what else can people expect to see in the incoming future here at the Arcata Theater?
Yeah, you know what? It's so exciting because we had actually had a plan. It's a $3 million plan to renovate the theater here at the Arcata, and we'll talk about displays a little bit, I'm sure.
Mhm.
But adding bathrooms. I mean, this place was opened in 1926, and we only had about 4 stalls for 1,000 people. So, and it stayed like that for years and years and years. So it needed bathrooms. It needed new power.
Sure.
Needed new new plumbing. Fire safety, the new stage, dressing rooms, everything. So we put this whole plan in place, and the wheels started turning just before COVID. So it was actually a 3-year plan. And
How did you get involved? What did somebody come up to you and say, Ron, there's the theater or St.
this one
Charles?
here?
How did you get involved with the theater?
so, as you know, because we were together back in the day there,
Mhm.
I was getting involved in the entertainment business
Yeah.
and loved it. Not even realizing like we're going to do it. We just started.
Yeah.
Back is back.
Sure.
And all the stuff.
Sure,
and
sure.
festivals. But I was actually managing American English. You all know the Beatles tribute band
Beatles
out here in
band.
Chicago.
Fantastic.
And we did very well with them. And this theater, the Arcata, was really a dive. I mean, it was a $4 brew and view place.
Were they still showing movies?
That's all they were doing. $4 brew and view. Buy a beer.
New movies or just old
No,
movies?
no, B, C, D movies.
Okay.
And it was a dump. I mean, it really was. It smelled like pee. It was terrible. There was holes in walls. I mean, it just was terrible. Had little challenge with the little critters, all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And but they had one live show for the most part every year. It was this American English. So obviously I booked them here. They sold out. Then I tried booking them the next year, and they weren't returning my calls. So I drove all the way down here to see what was happening, and there was a big dumpster in front with wood sticking out. I went, holy cow, what's going on? And they were going to turn theater, the Arcata here, into an office building. And so I said, wait a second. Now we were having our daughter at the time, and we were moving, all this kind of stuff. So basically I put an offer in to get the business, and it was a stupid offer, but let's give it a try.
Yeah, give it a shot, right?
And be careful what you wish for. And all of a sudden, the same weekend that we had our daughter, the same weekend we moved to Wooddale, and it was the same weekend I got the theater. So it was a very busy weekend that weekend.
Yeah, and you've done a lot. You've come a long way with the Speakeasy, folks. And if you haven't been here, a lot of people I know who came to the theater,
Mhm.
but they've never went upstairs.
Yeah, that started. So that's only I've been here now about 17 years.
Okay.
But that we opened up about 5.5 years ago when we turned. So we turned 90 years old, and I want to do something. We're open in 1920s, right in the middle of a prohibition. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to do something like a little bit of a speakeasy feel. So I was actually, if you come, we have like a little library, a little entrance. Originally, it was just going to be that little room. I was going to have it like a little bar, maybe 5 or 6 people, just kind of the experience, more like an exhibit, because I got like
Right.
an original program, original seat, a couple pictures, that
Mhm.
kind of thing. So I just going to be like a thing I'd bring people up to. And then I started looking around this floor, and because it was walls up, it was just a disaster. It was a storage. It used to be an office, it used to be a dance school, all this kind of stuff. And it had a short ceiling, a real low ceiling. And I started poking around. I see it's actually a very high ceiling. There's a very low drop ceiling. And these walls I thought I couldn't touch because of the historic thing. The city said, no, those were put in the 60s. You can knock them down. So what turned out, what I thought was a very small area, turned to a really nice big floor, because this was originally a Masonic temple. They used to have their meetings up here.
Oh.
And so it just evolved. And I've got probably about 400 antiques in here. And people just go through the secret door, and you have flapper girls and
Sure.
entertainment. It's just a really great experience that just evolved. Again, just
Yeah.
evolved.
And it's funny because you have families, you have kids, you have everybody come here.
Yep.
Sinatra
All
Sundays,
ages,
we
right.
have the great food. Speaking of cooking, where did that come from, Ron? Obviously, your parents cooked. Was it somebody because you cook yourself and you have a lot of the special recipes. And then you started putting these in your restaurants. You also have your own food at a lot of your festivals,
Oh yeah.
which is fantastic too. So you always loved cooking. Who was the person when you were growing up that said, Ron, try to do this? Or did he show? Was it
Well, you know
mom,
what?
dad,
Well, you know what? It's two-pronged, because I grew up with when you grow up around the stuff like you probably grew up with, and Johnny over there, Gennardo, our studio audience.
Mhm.
Hi
Hi, John.
Johnny.
Squirrely couldn't make it today.
That's why I even came. I'm very disappointed. It's the only reason why I
he was
came.
home. He was on strike.
But we all grow up with that. We grew up with the Sunday dinner and the pasta. You start cooking from freaking 7 o'clock in the morning until the last dish is washed at 4 o'clock, and that whole thing, not realizing it's a thing. You just like, that's what everybody does, isn't it? But as I got more into the world, I realized not everybody does that, and it became more special. But when I was 12 years old, I started in a Jewish deli in Oak Park called the Onion Roll.
Oh, the Onion Roll. That's
by
right.
by
That's
you
right.
in Elmwood
That's
Park
right.
there. So
Yes.
and I was there for 12 years, and I learned, and it's just breakfast, but I learned knife skills. I learned pan skills at the Onion Roll. So it's something that's been with me for a long time, and I just it was a hobby. Now with we have 7 restaurants and the other stuff, and they're all my recipes. And I got a couple things we're gonna be opening, and I love to do it.
Well, you're also bringing some hotels, some suites happening soon. Now,
Yeah.
that should be very interesting. Now, though, I think that they might have asked you. These are hotels that people can rent so they can see the shows, like a package deal, or are you putting the artists in these hotels?
No, that's a good question. It's a question we get all the time. But no, the artists are here to sleep. They come to sing and to sleep. These situations they're all themed. We've got a Sinatra or a Rat Pack suite, a Zeppelin suite, a Motown suite, an Elvis, that kind of thing. And it's got a lot of memorabilia, a lot of photos, just a Prince suite, something that's very immersive. So, it's not for the entertainers at all. It's for the guests. Like, for example, if you're a big Elvis fan,
Yeah.
say, or your husband or wife is a big Elvis fan, then you get VIP tickets to our Elvis show,
Sure.
and then you book the night in the Elvis room, and then
Stay
you have a
sweet.
special dinner and special lunch at one of our restaurants. I mean, it's a whole immersion
Very
kind of
cool.
experience.
Got some questions here. Tony Toto said you used to cook for the Maroon Club.
So, hey, Tony Toto.
Tony, Ronnie B, Loretta, how you doing? Chris Minardi, a lot of great people joining
A
us.
lot of people.
There's Franny. Hi, Franny. Great food, of course. That's right. Hi, Ronnie. Never call. Okay. Well,
Who's that?
just,
All right, Mark. Let me see.
Hey, Mark.
About a VIP club, kind of. Okay. All right, you got it. I'll call you. Oh, Dina never called you. All right, Mark. I'll get that taken care of right
Yeah,
away.
Mark is a good. Don't worry, Ronnie will take care of it for you. Pete Caliendo, very good friend. He was on the
Hey,
show on
Mr.
Friday.
Baseball, Love
Mr.
you, brother.
Baseball. That's
Tony
outside
Toto,
the box.
Your guy Tony Toto. We were in 4th grade together.
Wow.
We used to call him Paul Newman. He looked like Paul Newman back in
Like
the day.
Paul Newman. Look at that. Tony Toto. That is cool. Great drummer. And a
Tremendous guy.
just-
And
and
a
a
great
great-
vocalist. When we were
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
Tony, I would watch you on your streams. You would sing songs. And, so that's our buddy
He's
Tony.
very, very good. This is Ocean Spit, a little show about big things, folks. Here, downtown St. Charles, at the beautiful Club Arcada Speakeasy. Let's throw another sponsor in, pays the bills. That's Deutz Power Center. They're right out of Elgin, Illinois, servicing the Great Lakes service, construction, and diesel industry for Chicago for the last 100 years. Call Sal at 224-276-650. And folks, this one here, SteakSyndicate.com, is only good till the end of the month. It's been here for 3 months with us. John Seriani put this together. Hey, you want to become a member of the Coleon Club? I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. No kidding, folks. Get these quality steaks delivered right to your home. It's that simple. It's steaks, chickens, pork chops, fish, burgers, all. Go to SteakSyndicate.com. Join the Coleon Club. That's right, folks. Promo code Tony Ocean. Get 25% off the membership fee and 1 free tomahawk steak. That's
Wow.
right. So steak.
Protein you can't refuse.
There's
I
an
love
offer you can't refuse. SteakSyndicate.com. Ron Onesti, there's been a lot of performers.
that. Yeah.
You've been so many of them. Do you have a favorite if you had to pick one?
Aside from you, let me think.
Ching ching, point for
Ching.
Ron.
You know what? I get that question all the time, and especially as I get older, I'm not afraid to say that I'm just as starstruck as everybody else. I see people that we grew up with. I'm very fortunate in our world right now because we're old enough to have been young during a lot of these bands.
Sure.
There are bands when we were 16, 18 years old, but I'm old enough now to put these people on our stages.
And it's nice that you're bringing them on because you know what? Giving some of these artists a chance to perform.
Sure.
In
They
a
love
lot
it.
of places, you can't get a chance. So they come
Yep.
out and you do give them that. Ron is family to us as well. Uncle Ron from our good friend Karen Dean.
Oh, hey, Karen.
Oh, Karen, how you
Really
doing?
love it.
Robert Provenzano, the general.
That's it.
Marty Malarkey. I remember Ron from Wags.
I used to manage.
What?
You didn't know that?
No. Wait a minute. I remember running out of, eat and run out the door. I remember.
I remember
that.
chasing you.
Okay, that was it. I couldn't believe-
But the point here is that because I didn't just manage Wags, I managed the graveyard shift.
Holy, so you got all the
Let me tell you
drunks,
something.
right?
Well, the parking lot was quite the interesting thing.
Yeah.
I think I went through puberty just by walking around our parking
And
lot.
seeing what was going on over there.
But yeah, Belmont and Harlem.
You know what, Ron? You've been involved in a lot of things, and I know with the Taylor Street Fest and the Oakley Fest and all the great fest, the Addison one you did. You also did one for many years in Milwaukee, which was fantastic. And one of the questions here, I think it was from
That's
Helen,
funny.
our good friend Helen Tenuta. Wait, I think she said Ron.
Yeah.
Oh, Cheryl Riccio, our very
Of
good
course.
friend, of course, from the Ron Onesti organization. Will there be a fest this year?
There will be fest this year. I was just having a conversation this morning with an alderman that we are going to do. Definitely, I'm not sure about Oakley because of their situation down there.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that we're pushing for Taylor Street and Addison.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what?
Look at this, Peggy Flynn. Many years ago, Frankie Avalon was doing the Italian Fest. That's right. We
Yeah.
went to dinner, and Frankie introduced me to Ron.
See,
That's kind of funny.
that is pretty good. You got to love that. Yeah, Beverly Caliendo, that's Peter's wife. How you
Yeah.
doing, Beverly?
Yeah,
Wags, Belmont, and Harlem hung there all the time. Teresa, was
Yeah,
one of my
Teresa.
favorites too.
Yeah,
biggest
Teresa.
draw, would you say, that you have here?
Draw?
At the draw.
At the Arcata?
Yeah.
Well, Paul Anka is always just he's coming back. Just a great draw.
He does 2 nights here.
He does 2 nights.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we will do 2 nights. We did one night here, one in display, and sold them
Yeah.
both out. But you know, all the big ones from then, whether it's Ted Nugent or Pat Benatar or America or any of those, you know,
Peter Noon does
that's
fantastic.
great. He's got the Lunatics,
And he still looks good.
He's
and he still has a
hysterical.
great voice.
Well, you know what? He is a rare individual in a sense that, you know, these bands that come out, they've got their set list. You obviously know
Yeah.
what a set list is, right? You got your set list.
Yeah.
And what they do, they come and they sing their set list.
Yeah.
Of course, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what he does, he's got his songs to sing, but he just connects with the audience all the time. Talks. He'll throw Henry VIII and talks, and Mrs.
Throw something
Brownie.
else in.
I love
Yeah,
it. And
yeah.
just it's a real interactive, a real true show.
Yeah.
What do you do? You
And-
connect with the audience.
Well, you know who also does that? Bruce Springsteen, if you notice, he does 3 hours.
Yeah.
And in the audience, there's people holding cue cards with names of songs.
Oh,
So he stops because it shows 3 hours. Look, all right, let's call him. And he pulls this one out. And it could be even a song that he did or maybe just a cover song.
that's cool. I
And
know
he'll,
you did
and he
that.
looks with
That's
the band and they go over, yeah, you know it. So he might take a couple minutes actually, and they go
Sure.
to, and then they do the song,
Well, that's cool.
which is very cool.
Never been to a Springsteen show.
Yeah. Hey man, let's talk about Des Plaines Theater.
Yes.
It's a fantastic place in Des Plaines. How did that all come about? You know, that theater's been there a long time, correct?
Oh yeah, it's been there. I mean, it's 95th anniversary, and was opened the Arcada in 1926. Des Plaines 1925. The same, basically the same architects. Kind of had something to do with it. You know, I've been dealing with this theater for probably.
You went to them thinking of this idea too?
No, it's been about 12 years. I mean,
Yeah,
15, 10 years. Because this theater's been in bad shape for 20, 30 years. I mean, really bad shape. And it's got worse and worse and worse. And so whether it was one mayor would call me or a city council person, because everything I was doing with the Arcada, they're like, man, we would just love to have that with our theater. But it took a lot. I would tell them, I mean, this place, it would take millions.
Yeah.
And no matter how many, tickets I would sell, I couldn't make the money
Yeah.
to invest. And they would say,
Right.
could you buy the place? Would you invest it? And I'm like, man, we'll give you the place, but just fix it up. I mean, it's millions of dollars. So it's been going back and forth. And then finally, they had a new mayor, and they really were thinking, where they put together a plan of economic development and downtown development of Des Plaines. They got so much happening down there. And they said, they all realized after they did all their studies, something I've been telling them for years, is that the theater should be the center of your economic machine down there. And they realized that. And they went to Rivers Casino. They put up $2 million. The city put up about $6 million. And I had to put up myself, quite a bit, because they gave me just a shell thing. But we all came together, and it's been just spectacular.
It's a beautiful theater. We did the St. Jude's thing over there.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Anything more to come there? You're opening a restaurant. You're doing anything there too? You do have like a pizza.
So
place,
yeah, we're
right?
opening up on the main floor. It's not as big. I mean, it's bigger. The theater's bigger than the Arcada by 100 seats, 1,000. But the restaurant opportunities. What I have on the second floor is Bourbon and Brass. If you're at my place in Evanston at one time, which was by Rocket Ravioli, That was the second floor there, so we moved it over to
Okay.
there, and it's a really cool small stage, that kind of thing. Same situation, another 1920s speakeasy, really cool. And then on the main floor, on one side, you've got the Big Al's Tavern, named after my dad, and it's a real 1930s kind of a feel.
Big Al, that's cool.
Big Al. And then on the other side, a thing called Des Pizza, which is a wood-burning pizza oven and just really cool.
And you got the original bar from,
So Al Capone's,
which is his birthday today, by the way.
yes,
Happy birthday, Al Capone. That's right.
I got his bar, his craps table, and his roulette wheel from the Lexington Hotel. Got it at auction, and you'll see it. We just installed it downstairs in what will be opening soon, Rockin' Ravioli here in St. Charles.
That's very cool, man. Ron, I got to ask you a couple things here. Let's just talk about what's the simplest thing that makes you happy?
You know what?
People say breathing, people say other
Yeah.
things, but yours. What is the simplest thing that you have to have?
You know what? For me, it's been we've gotten to a certain place. We've been doing this for a long time now. We're putting on these shows. We're putting food in front of people. We're making great beverages. And for me, the simplest thing is just connecting with the people. It really is. I walk around. I'm in a good place. I got a great staff. I don't have to be as involved like before. I was in the kitchen all the time. I can physically share time with the people. And for me, that has been something that just is an amazing opportunity to have, to be able to when people's having, they bring their 95-year-old grandma here on a Sinatra Sunday, and I get to be a part of their family for a couple of minutes. It's kind of cool.
It's kind of cool because me and John was just talking about too, how people have to interact with people. You've been doing that your whole life. You spend time, you go table to table.
Mhm.
I try to do the same thing too. And
Sure.
it's very, very important to do.
Mhm.
And I always want to say a big round of applause for your staff. And I
Yeah.
say it every time I'm here. I say, and you got to thank the place, but you also have to thank the staff who decided to come to work
Yeah.
instead of sitting home and collecting unemployment.
Yeah.
2020, you are still short staffed, but you guys, people don't understand with these establishments that they're still trying to give everybody 100% of a great job for what their company does.
Yeah.
And then you get some one or two upset customers that might go to Yelp and rip on a restaurant because maybe the food was cold or I
Right.
didn't get my,
Unbelievable.
and
I
at
don't
this
get that.
particular time,
I don't get it.
I don't get it's not right. So everybody's trying to do the best they can.
Right.
And that's important. Ron, ticket prices too. I think your ticket prices are actually pretty fair.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of,
What people have to understand though is you gotta understand what these bands cost.
well, that's what I'm thinking. The ticket, what people don't understand, it's not Ron just saying, hey guys,
That's
we're going to charge you this.
That's
He's
right.
got to fly the band in. He's got to put them up. And they have to have a certain price.
Well, you'd be surprised, and I can't, I'm not going to divulge it, but
Sure.
especially the big ones, your Nugents, your Incas, you'd be surprised. You would be floored if you found out what I was paying these people. So no matter what you see when you come into the theater and you see it packed, and you're like, man, Rod is really raking it in. I'm not the one raking it in. Believe me, the entertainers raking it in. They get the lion's share of that ticket money. So if prices are a little bit high, look at the act because they're getting it. Believe
They're
me.
good. And you're right. And then,
But we have $10 shows. We have $19 shows.
Yeah.
We have $29 shows. So
So
we
you
try
get-
something for everybody.
you can't beat that. And that's very important. And if you have any guest that you've had, everybody's got one of those riders.
Mhm.
Have you had any, you don't have to say the act, any weird riders that you had and say, I got to get them this or her this,
Yeah.
or she's not going to go on?
Yeah.
Can you just,
Um,
don't have to say the artist, but just name like some.
Well, a couple.
particular-
I mean, there's some, what they do, it drives us a little crazy. They'll throw stuff in the rider that make no sense, but they put it in there specifically so that you can prove to them that you read the rider. For example, those, honestly, like, I won't mention any names. So Neil Sedaka has six pair of black socks on his rider. So my people get it. I'm like, why would you get that? Well, it says it. He's just proving, he just wants to make sure. He wants you to ask, you really need these socks? No, I don't need it. But they do stuff like that. Frankie Valli did the same thing. Frankie Valli, he was honestly had a Crown Royal Black on his rider. He had to have it. And for some reason, I don't know if someone took it because it was there. It was 20 minutes before he's supposed to go on. He pokes his head out of his dressing room. Ron, can you talk for a second? My Crown Royal Black is in here. All this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 20 minutes of the show. And this was at a festival, so we didn't have the liquor. It's on a Sunday. Running, trying to find a liquor store open at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. We finally found the Crown Royal. It was in a squad car. The guy was taking us with the lights back. Got there right at showtime. Put the Crown Royal. He said, "Thank you." After the show's over, does the whole show. He leaves. Didn't even open it.
Didn't even open
Didn't
the
even
bottle.
open it.
And that goes back to the story with Van Halen with the green M&Ms.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that they wanted just green M&Ms because they just want to make sure that you read the rider.
That's it.
Ron Onesti, folks, here at the Ocean Spit, the little show about big things. Ron, do you have a bucket list? Anybody that you want to get here on the show at the plate? Now,
Yeah.
you put something out on your thing. You asked people.
Yeah.
A
oh my
lot
God.
of people
Holy
came up
smokes.
with, like, can you bring Elvis back alive?
Oh,
I mean, they came up with some crazy stuff. Is there somebody that you want to get working on, or maybe you just can't get? How does that work?
Well, I mean, there's people that like Tom Jones has been one of them. REO Speedwagon is another one. There's a few of those that that, like, for example, we had Cheap Trick here a couple times, but then they get to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, just they're just playing the bigger venues.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, you think about like what Prince did. Would it just show up or do a show for 700 people, something that big? So, Robert Plant's another one that I'm
This close.
yeah, I mean, there's a couple of those that are way too big for a venue like this, but they treat it that way, like it's an intimate thing or it's an acoustic thing. So there's a few of those.
Yeah, that's kind of
Basically, anybody over 60 still alive is kind of what I'm looking for.
That's what you're looking for. I remember when the Stones, after they would do the big concerts, and they would go to the Blues Club and they do like a
Exactly.
Buddy Guys, and they do like a 3-hour set or
They have
something.
Mick show up or Slash show up. And, St. Charles is one thing, but the Displays thing, I mean, I'm 10 minutes from O'Hare.
Right.
So there's things that are going to happen there that's going to be like that.
Well,
They've been
you
working
got,
on it
you got
already.
the casino there, and then they can come by you, and they got the airports. You got everything very close.
Well, you got somebody, someone lands at O'Hare and they're going to play Lollapalooza or something really big. Could they stop at the Displays?
Maybe they can. Ron, now, as you know, Friday was my fourth year wedding anniversary, and we married here. And Ron, you did marry us. You do a lot of those?
Yeah, we actually you proposed at our Oakley Fest
Yeah,
too on stage.
that was a
too, so I
great
feel
event.
very close
That
to
was-
the whole thing.
Yeah, that was very good.
Yeah, you know what? You go, you become one of those minister things, and I don't know if I'm any more religious than the next guy, but we found that a lot of people, especially second marriages, where they want a little bit more themed, or they're real rock and roll people, or the theater people, and you got My Places. That's really cool, and I don't know. I enjoy it because it's not. I mean, I'm as reverent as I need to be, of course.
Sure.
I respect the process and
Right.
the ceremony. But because it's usually, like I said, a second, a little less, the pressure is a little less. We have a little fun with it. We had fun at yours.
Oh.
I'm going to tell you,
It was great.
of all the ones I've done, yours was my favorite. Because we know each other
Yeah.
so well. I had so much fun at yours.
And all the FBI writing down license plates. It was a great event.
We had a lot
It
of
was
fun.
very good. That was my good friend Franny. How you doing, honey? Franny
Hey.
and Dominic. Hey, our good friend Dakota from California. How you doing, buddy?
Let's
I
get
hope
back
you're
to
doing
Chicago.
well.
Quit screwing around out there, Dakota.
Yeah, come on here, do a couple of times. Loretta Hamilton. How you doing, honey? Thank you so much. Here we are. Let's talk about another thing that you're involved with, and you've been for many, many years. The Italian Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You are president now. That is on Harlem Avenue, right? In Chicago?
Yeah, the first thing I did was we were able to. It was a huge. I'm born on Taylor Street. I would have loved to stay on Taylor Street.
Sure.
But it was a huge monster of a building that was, frankly, just unaffordable. It really, really.
Now you
was.
remember we did something, didn't you have something where we did the Dina Martin book
Mhm.
signing
Oh,
party?
we did several things there.
Several things there.
But the
yes.
thing is, it became like the business model became banquet facility. I'm in the business of perpetuating our Italian heritage, not quinceañeras and banquets and weddings. I mean, that's not what I want to do when I grow up. So anyway, so we were able to get out of that, and we bought a building. This craziest construction going on. I don't even know about.
That's
Sorry
okay.
about
Someone
that.
said it's Geraldo
prisoners-
Rivera looking in on one of those walls.
That's the
He's going to
prisoners
find
trying to
some
break
cash. There you go.
But no, it's we found a building right there in another little Italy area of Chicago, right on Harlem, just south of
Perfect.
Addison. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the building's great, and we met. You're going to start seeing some announcements with some designs. We're at the architects just yesterday, and it's going to be just an incredible place. I'm very excited about it, and it will open by fall this year.
It's going to be nice, Ron. I know you have a big people that work behind you. You've got a
Yeah.
great group.
Yep.
Of course, your brother Richie Onesti.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
it's
he's,
like
he's one of my heroes.
Yeah, he's fantastic at what he does.
Mhm.
Is it difficult sometimes working with family?
Not in my case. I
I mean, you guys have been like this from
Yeah.
the very beginning. And you see sometimes in families where there's a jealousy or something like that, but you work perfect because it's a perfect thing. You like being out there. Richie likes being in the back.
Yeah, he
doing all
hates
the work.
people, so it works out
Yeah,
well.
he hates people. It's good. And you also have a very successful marriage. And that's one thing I always admire about you, being on my fourth. And I finally found the right one. But Ron,
For now.
Yeah, for now. No, believe me, I
No,
will get shot
believe
on
me.
this one.
There's more of us that like her than like you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you know
I can
that.
tell by the
You
postcard.
know that.
Anyway, but how does that work? I mean, you are hardly ever home.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
It seems that way.
Well,
but
but at one time, though. I know
Yeah.
now you're getting better to
Yeah,
the point,
yeah.
but at one time you were like
Well,
crazy.
you know, she was a lot younger than I mean, like 9 years, I think, or so. And so I met her, she was 17. And, you know, I was 26 and I was already in down my road of being busy and my hands, a lot of things. So she knew what she was getting into and she dealt with it and put up with it. And
Well, you know, she comes in, she says hello to everybody too. She's
Yeah.
like, you know, Vanna White when she walks in. People know who she is, you know.
yeah, it's
And-
the first word I'd come up with, Vanna White.
You know what I mean? You know, what I say. Carol, our good friend Carol Minotti says, Bronx Wanderer, speakeasy again, you think?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I don't think what we did. We had the two Vinnies come in and do an acoustic thing.
Yeah.
No, I think we're going to try for a full-fledged thing this summer with the boys.
Yeah, they're a fantastic group
Oh, yeah.
too.
We're doing great.
My wife is even watching. Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
I'm sure that she laughed at that one. There you go. The first time she's watched the show.
I
And
It
but-
took her an hour, half hour just to find it.
there you
Didn't know
go.
where to go.
There you go. Last Anthony Napolitano, one of my drummers too as well. Great drummer.
Good
Last
guy,
time
absolutely.
we had that was a great crowd. And Ronnie was nice because you put me in front of the Wanderers and it always seems to work out.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
cool.
Oh.
And Vinny's always been a great guy. Greg Reedy from Florida.
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy? Do you sing or tinker on an instrument? What's your favorite genre? Are you talking to me or Ron, Loretta? Loretta, if I'm correct, does the Joan Jett
She's a
tribute.
Joan Jett.
She's
She
good.
shows up.
She's good.
She shows up. Hey!
Hey, there she is. She's fantastic.
Yep.
Very, very cool. Columbus Day Parade. Now, it was huge this year, especially
Yeah, I was very
because
excited about
everybody said it would never happen. We're never going to happen. And not only did we have it, but we also got to keep the Columbus Day Parade Day in
Yep.
October.
Yep.
Was that? I know there was battles with that, Ron. First of all, let's deal with that. The vote was close.
Well, so there's different issues here, right? There's the holiday.
Yeah.
There's the statues.
Yeah.
There's the parade.
Yeah.
So from the parade standpoint, being, you know, I was elected president of the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans. It's a congress of all 55 Italian American organizations around the Chicagoland area. And one of the responsibilities is to produce the Columbus Day Parade since 1952. And because of COVID, because of concern with crime, concern with people against Columbus and protesters, you know, that we didn't have it the one year.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I couldn't sit back and let it happen, let it not happen. So we put together, got a great crew, a great committee, a great bunch of people that put this parade together. But we went forward with it. And it was really interesting because, you know, we really had security. We had over 200 police officers. We really did our homework. And not one protester was there. Not one. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
It was a great day. The weather was good. And people lined the streets. And people came to the parade and participated in the parade. You participated in the parade,
Yeah.
as you do every year. And many of our entertainer friends.
Yeah.
So the parade happened. The holiday, it's a federal holiday, but there are local city mandates, and the Cook County Board was trying to vote against it, changing it to Indigenous Peoples Day.
Right.
And so we fought that. And when I say fought, we communicated, really communicated. I've met, and even today, I've got one. I had one yesterday that we were going to be talking. We talked to the Cook County commissioners, even the president, Preckwinkle, and some agree with us, some don't. But we fought it, and we won. Where we kept the holiday.
Because they can have Indigenous Day, whatever it was, they can have their own day too.
Well, see, Indigenous people already have three.
Well,
They have a local, they have a state, they have a national.
Yeah.
It's not about giving them a day, it's about taking away ours.
Yeah.
And that's what we say. Look, you've got 3 days. We only have one.
Yeah.
By taking away ours and gaining yours, how does that,
How does that help? You're
yeah.
right.
So it doesn't really, work that way. And we say to Indigenous people, they've got a story to be told that
Sure.
needs to be told.
Absolutely.
We want to help them tell the story.
Right.
But you don't tell your story at the expense of another ethnic groups. And that's where we're at.
And the big hoopla, besides the Columbus Day, was the statue.
Yeah.
The statue. And people heard of stories that was going to be there. We didn't know. So what they do at the end of the, if you guys have not been to the parade, at the end of the parade, they always have a dinner at the Casa Italiana in Stone Park.
Yep.
And it was outside. It was shitty weather, rain, and people were eating in line, and no one kind of didn't notice at first. There was a big statue, which we didn't know it was a statue. It was like a big coverage of something. We thought maybe it was
a tarp on it.
a tarp. We didn't know if maybe they're just, and then of course we had the news. Then you seen all the news people show up, and then Ronnie made the announcement of unveiling the statue, which was incredible. I mean, it was so pictures. Everybody went mad.
Yeah, it was cool.
What is the next move with this? Is there any
So
way
it's
getting
interesting
it
you
back?
say that. First
Yes.
of all, Cheryl, why don't we have Italian Heritage Month? We do every October, so you can find out more about that.
Yes.
We do a lot of things over the month of October. But it was something that, again, we were fighting to get the statue back. And, over a year, people saying, no matter what, Ron, no matter what you say, we're not going to get it back. And I when I'm really close, I was in contact with the park district, not to get too deep with it, but I was able to because we found papers that gave the rights to the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans to the statue. So I put together 4 attorneys, the Justinians, Society of Italian Lawyers. They put together a lawsuit. And then because of that, the park district started talking to us now. And I said, nobody even knows where it's at. I want to make sure it's okay. I went, so they allowed me to go with one of the attorneys. I went over there, I saw it. It was on its side. It was all full of
Was it a
vandalism.
warehouse? Where was it
It was
at?
in a warehouse on the south side. And it was just terrible. It made me cry. I felt like I saw a dead relative.
Sure.
I mean, laying there.
Absolutely.
So I said, look, is there any way that we can get it just for the one day so we can bring it back to the community to instill some community, something positive for the community,
we need it.
We
Absolutely.
needed it.
Absolutely.
And so we worked it out, and I kept it very quiet, but made it very secure, very protected, and got it to Casa Italia, unveiled it to everybody. It was a very tear-filled. I mean, people couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And everyone took pictures with it, and we brought it back. It was part of the deal. And right now, we got to get it repaired. It's a 100-year-old statue. It was built in Rome in 1891. So for the 1892 Columbian Exposition World's Fair here in Chicago. So that's being done now, and so the lawsuit is continuing. And just about what time is it? 12:42. So exactly 1 hour and 15 minutes ago, our case was heard. I was on a Zoom with the attorneys, with the judge, and because not to get too deep into it, but bottom line here is just it's a Chicago Park District thing, not a City of Chicago thing. Chicago Park District. A lot of people don't realize it. It's an independent situation. The City of Chicago doesn't give a dime to the Park District.
Right.
It's a separate taxation thing.
Completely
anyway, so
different.
that's who we actually sued.
Yeah.
But we actually determined that it was the mayor that pulled it down and got in the way. So today we sued the mayor of the City of Chicago, and the judge allowed it. So we're going forward with the lawsuit.
You know what? That's incredible. And you know what? And when we heard the stories that you guys, we don't have to get really into it, but you guys are in talks, and then you think that things are moving along, and then in the middle of the night, you go in and take it down. It's just that business right there puts a black mark on any positive thing that you guys had up to that point.
Absolutely. So that's where we're at now. We're in talks. We're trying to figure it out. It came down in the interest of safety. And again, I am not necessarily looking for the statue right now. That's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
What I'm fighting for is a plan. What's the plan? What's the maintenance plan? What's the security plan? What's the vandalism plan? What's the financial plan? There's a lot to do with this thing. You just put it up there, and then vandals come, or people get hurt, or we need a plan.
It would get damaged again.
And that's the issue. They weren't communicating with us. We're just begging them. That's why they go to lawsuit route. Because hey, talk to us. We're a community that this is affected. It's a tradition. It's a generations old tradition since 1891. Talk to us about it. It's important to us.
Yeah.
And we weren't given the respect, and that's why we went forward with the lawsuit. And that's where we're at right now.
It's amazing what any kind of business you think about. A lot of people might talk bad about this, but you ever think if you actually sat 2 people down together and trying to get something, sometimes it can really work.
Well,
But
that's
when
what
they
we're trying to
avoid
do.
you and stuff, it just makes
Well, that's
it
what we're
worse.
doing right now. So we're reaching out. Like my personal goal as far as being president of Italian organizations this year is really a what started out as an Italian American thing. You took our statue. Italian Americans are pissed off about it. It's an Italian American thing. But as I was out in the community and talking about it, and other people are coming up to me from other ethnic groups, what I'm standing for now and what we're fighting actually affects all ethnic groups. What happens to the Polish,
Yeah.
the Ukrainian?
It's not just the Italians.
What happens on Martin Luther King Day when somebody on a whim says, you know what, I don't like Martin Luther King.
He's gone.
Let's get rid of this. We're for not just protecting our heritage or our culture, our traditions, but everybody's traditions. Let's respect each other. And look, we all grew up with the same story. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, 1492, discovered America.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Yeah,
That's all we knew. So yes,
Pinta, Louisa, and Santa, whatever the three
Santa
ships.
Maria.
Yeah.
You didn't even learn that.
Yeah.
But the point here is that
Sneezy,
the story needs to be expanded, broadened. We're for that, but don't go against us. Let us help you tell your story. You respect our story, and we grow up loving each other.
And that's what it's about. I love you too, brother. Look at this.
Wow, a lot of guys here.
Hey,
Ricky
Angelo
Stokes.
says hello from Steubenville, Ohio.
Love Steubenville.
Hey,
I got to come
Steuben.
out there. We gotta go out.
Absolutely, we should go out.
Oh, my
Absolutely.
gosh.
Especially Dean Martin Week.
Oh my God, are you still having it out there? I haven't talked to Dean about that.
I think they still have.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? That's another thing. I know you lost a good friend, Ronnie Spector.
Oh my gosh,
She was fantastic when she came in here.
we had her booked for last Christmas, and then because of COVID, we had to move it. We have her booked for this Christmas in 2022, and obviously,
And it's with the whole threes thing. Again, it happened with Betty White, Bob Saget, Ronnie Spector. I mean, it's crazy. And let's go back real quick, Ronnie. March 14th, 2020.
Mhm.
You get the call, you look on TV, everything's closed down, COVID-19. I mean, you of all people, especially in the middle of opening a new theater, let alone your regular business. What were you thinking at the time?
just like everybody else. I mean, we didn't realize it. Like I remember, it was actually February we started moving shows because the thought was there, and we get like an entertainer saying, "You know what, we're going to move." Like, holy crap! All right, we'll move. So it's end of February, beginning of March. Let's just move it to May. It's only a few weeks. We kept moving. That's the thing. We didn't just move from there to like now we're doing things. Okay, move it to 22, move it to 23, move it to 24.
Yeah.
Then it's like moving it 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Let's move another 3 weeks. I mean, nobody knew. It was brutal. And we have a big board with it because at any one time we'll have 100 shows on sale. We do a lot of stuff, and that's what happened. We had all these lists of all our shows. We'll cancel that, and all of a sudden the whole board was like, "What the heck?" And then the whole closing. So we really, just like everybody, nobody knew what was happening. Even when you say, "Well, it's going to last 2 years," now we're approaching 3 years. There isn't a person on the planet, even if you said it, you didn't believe it. I mean, who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
And then everybody being short on staff. I know you guys are still hiring and stuff, and you got a bunch of different locations. It was really, and that's another question I want to say. Supreme Court turned it over now. Businesses with over 100 or 100 employees about the whole vaccine mandate. Does that include, Ron, does that work with you when you have two locations, or is that two separate because one's displays?
Yeah, right. It's two separate because it depends on the mandate. Like, for example, Cook County mandates the whole Vax card, which displays in Cook County. I'm in Kane County here, so it's not. You know what? My personal feeling, I mean, again, this is an abortion issue. You're either really for it and believe in it, or you're really against it. Like, screw it, it doesn't even exist. I mean, obviously, it's out there. Obviously, so many families been affected by it. So many people lost their lives.
Sure.
To say that it doesn't exist, I don't think it's very responsible. But how am I to say, like, for example, I got a 16-year-old daughter. I mean, is this going to, these vaccinations are going to affect her childbearing? No one can tell me no. I mean, that kind of stuff.
And then keeping them out of school. I mean, I've heard a lot of families who had kids doing A students, and when they got to Zoom, they kind of lose the concentration and they went down on their grades.
Don't forget, school, especially when you have a teenager, and most of you out there have one or had one, especially at high school years, so much of it, I would say now, 30% of it is about, reading, writing, arithmetic. 70% is just social interaction, coming into your own bodies and your morals and
with your classmates.
Oh, it's just
other activities.
It forms your personalities. I mean, that's what's really important. So, and I feel bad for her because she's went to the same grammar school from like 3 years old, preschool, all the way to 7th grade. For her 8th grade, if she wanted to graduate all her friends, they closed the Catholic school. So that happened. Then as a freshman, you're already scared. You go into a new school. Then end of freshman year, sophomore year, she's at home because of COVID. I mean, these kids, what they're going through,
it's crazy. And it right now, being a child is difficult enough. before the whole pandemic came
Sure.
around. It's just a hard thing. And then with the different stories that we're getting from the CDC, like, even the CDC, some of the employees that work for the CDC didn't have to be vaccinated, but they were telling us that we had to. Like FedEx, you have to be vaccinated, but UPS, you don't. I mean, it's just so confusing.
So I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about
Sure,
it. I just
mean-
make my meatballs. I put the bands on, do the best I can. My staff stays masked. I mean,
Right.
we're being trying to be as
And
responsible.
thank God we
as
have
possible.
music, because if you think about it, even to all the bands, they were all doing live streams in 2020. You were having even got bands come in with no audience.
Oh, we did. We're the first ones to do the live stream because we did it right away.
Yeah.
We had everybody come. I mean, we literally did the first week of lockdown, and we did 10 shows straight before anybody was doing streaming, and we got thousands of people to watch.
I mean, I did 2 driveway shows,
Yeah.
and I got the okay from the mayor, Craig Johnson of Elk Grove, incredible mayor.
Yeah.
Said, go ahead. And we had at least 400 or 500 people out. I mean, and they had their own lawn chairs. They were all split up.
Oh, and
But it was something, we need music, especially
it
back
was
then.
nice. Those were actually kind of nice. Some of those things, too,
Yeah,
whether you had to or not. But the distancing, I mean, we're
And-
moving forward.
We have to move forward.
Mhm.
Ron, another thing, gotta ask you this question now.
Sure.
No matter how much of something you own, what is something you just never have enough of?
I'll go back to the interaction of the people. I mean, my mom and all our moms and dads taught us how, our greatest asset, our most valuable possession is time. And as you get older, I mean, it's all cliche, but it just drives me crazy when time is wasted. But my mom too, and she ingrained that in me. So as I get older, I realize every day just the value of time and time spent with people that you love.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's very important, which people don't understand is I know things like I haven't talked to in a while, but you can just pick up a phone or a text.
Mhm.
People right now are depressed out there. They need, hey man, how you doing?
oh, big
Or
time.
happy birthday, thinking about you. It doesn't take
People-
too much.
People come to these shows and they get so emotional and they hug me like I cured cancer. Like, oh, you're thank you for doing this. I'm like, thank you for buying a ticket.
Buying a ticket.
But the live music, the interaction with people, it's a morale booster. People are getting so depressed and all that. It's medicinal what we're doing right
What are
now.
you hearing from the stars, the celebrities that are playing? You hear a lot of concerns still with a lot of people that you're booking, or people just want to keep coming
It's
out?
both. It's both. Richard Marks I talked to yesterday. He says, dude, he's supposed to come for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
He's moved to October. Jimmy Belushi, because he lives in Canada now.
Yeah.
He's moving. I mean, they're calling and saying, look, I gotta move. I moved freaking Michael Bolton 4
Now,
times.
is it moving because of the COVID?
hmm And others are like, we're still coming.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, it's those that need the paycheck and those that don't need it.
But I also noticed that my shows, and I'm still working, God bless, even in
Yep.
2020, I noticed, I was just telling John Gianardo here too, that I noticed that the older generation are still coming out. It's
Yeah.
almost like the middle generation are kind of freaked out on the whole thing. Which
Well,
is
if you
kinda
look
weird.
at, I mean, it's not. I would say that it's not as much that because again, I keep saying the abortion issue because it's such a strong issue that people are just vehemently about, and there are those, no matter what their age is, they're not going to let it keep them down. Others, I got friends that have not, to this day, have not left their house since March of 2 years ago.
2020?
Have not left their house. I mean, I'm telling you, there are people like that. They're so afraid. It's a personal issue. Again, it's like the abortion thing. It's like that, those kinds of issues. And we get, you look at any one of our audiences. Of course, we're down. Everybody's down. We're down 20, 30%.
And that's huge in this kind of business because you have a giant staff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was talking to a bunch of different, like my friend Greg at Taverna, you would know too. Before the pandemic, you might have had 20, 25 servers employed. Some guys are down to 8 or 9 and they're still trying to run an establishment because you still have to give these people 100%. The best you can, you know what I mean?
We got 200 people here, with all the places. So it's a lot.
It's a lot.
So people don't realize that, but we're going to try to keep it going. And because it's important, this isn't about making money these days. That's for darn sure. But for the people, my staff, and for our customers who are, again, they come to a show, it's medicinal. It's something they need.
Yeah.
It's not just let's go check out some Zeppelin songs.
Yeah, because you can do that, right? It's just to get out of the house and try to live life. Albert, of course, our good friend Albert. When will Rockin' Za be opening?
So yeah, we got the challenge we had that is with some materials and labor. I mean, anybody looking for jobs, we're hiring all over the place, especially marketing. assistance we're looking for, but anybody in the food service world, it's hard. So Rocket Za, which is the pizza and pinball experience here in St. Charles, is ready to open the next 2 weeks, I think.
And that's right when you walk in the door. So you can actually see that because right from the window, which is kind of cool. Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. It's almost time for us to go, folks. We think a couple more sponsors. That's right, Portillo's, folks. Let's not forget Portillo's. If you're looking for fundraisers or nonprofit organizations, you can go and check out with Portillo's. This is very cool. If you bring your nonprofit organizations to Portillo's at one of their establishments, anything you sell there over $200, you get 20% of the proceeds. And it's very simple. Anybody be involved in that. Also, they're also looking for a lot of help. So our son, Joe Fank, is in the marketing department. So give Joe a call at 224-636-3646 or jfank@portillos.com. Very important, very, very important. Ocean Spit, the little show about big things, folks. We got a lot of good stuff still coming up. This Friday will be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse. Saturday, Taverna on Division. Of course, our good Freddie Gregg in Melrose Park.
What are we going to cover in our second hour?
It's only an hour. It's only an hour,
I'm just getting warmed up.
Damn it. Now, wait a minute. We got to throw out a couple things here, folks. How about the new area code starting on Friday? Yes. New area code 646 will be starting on Friday.
Can't wait.
There you go. You never know. Also, folks, let's get a couple things. Ron, if you had to pick three. All right, ready?
The first three.
Number one, $10,000. Okay. Free rent or mortgage for the rest of your life. Okay. Perfect credit score.
What is that?
Free airline tickets.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay. New house, but you can never sell it or move from it. All right. Okay. You got free groceries for 5 years. New car or free medical. Pick three. You like that one, huh?
I don't even know because it's all I don't know.
Free medical for life would be
sure,
kind of cool.
I'll do the free medical.
Okay, that's number one. How about a free home with no rent or no mortgage?
I got that now.
You got that now, so you're okay. How about free airline tickets anywhere you go?
Sure.
All right, that's number two. Free groceries or you can get cars.
Groceries for my business? Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's your three.
My Greco bill? Hell
there you go. That would work. How about we lost the great Les Grobstein?
Oh, man, that came out of nowhere.
He was a young guy, too.
60?
Yeah, he was
young.
young.
Right, our age.
Yeah, he was fantastic, actually. I used to watch him do a lot of stuff. It was fantastic. We got some birthdays. Let's throw them out here. Our good buddy Bill Hall from the Dream Police celebrates a birthday. 61 years old. And I like doing the old guys' birthdays from the old shows and the old TVs. And then that's always been my thing with the Ocean Pit over here, folks. Carolyn Monroe, some guys might remember her from, of course, Sinbad, one of my favorite actresses. Betty White, of course, yesterday turned 100 years old. If she was still, how about Eartha Kitt?
Oh, man.
That voice she had. She was great. John Carpenter, a great, makes a lot of horror movies, of course, Halloween and so many more. Jason Roderick? Is he from the Blackhawks? Jason.
Or is that Jeremy Roenick?
Jeremy
Roenick, yeah.
Yeah, Blackhawk. You met him, right? You met him. Yeah. Great guy, right?
Great guy.
Dwayne Wade.
Oh, yeah.
He was great, too, from the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, Bulls.
Former Elvin Lee guitar player and Rolling Stones guitar player Mick Taylor celebrates a birthday. My favorite country artist, I don't really care for country, but my favorite, Ronnie Milsap.
We had him here. Great guy.
What songs?
40 number ones he's got. 40 number ones.
Unbelievable. Sade, Smooth Operator, celebrates a birthday. One of great English singers, of course, Paul Young.
Oh, yeah.
He was great. Every Time You Go Away, great song. Let's see. Susanna Hoffs from the Bangles. Did she ever play here?
No, that's you asked me earlier about the bucket list. That's one of them.
Of course, we mentioned Al Capone. Of course, one of the great voices, James Earl Jones, celebrates a birthday. Also, Jim Carrey turns 60 years old today. Andy Kaufman. Now, that was a guy that would like to get, that would be cool. And then Chris Montez, of course, you had the big song, Let's Dance.
He was here. I got a great story about that next hour. Well, real quick here. So, Chris Montez and, oh my God, what's the other guy? Now, but these two guys actually went to England when Let's Dance and, what's the other guy? It's killing me. We had them both here at the Arcata together. So they went to England, and they had a backup band waiting for them. These 4 guys with freaking goofy hairstyles, that was their backup band and opened for them. Turns out that was at the beginning of the year in January. By March, the Beatles' first album came out there, and those 4 guys that was
Back
there
it up.
backup, it turned it around, and those 2 guys, Chris Montez and the other guy, I can't think of it, actually opened for the Beatles the rest of the tour. And we hired those 2 guys. So Chris Montez and the other guy is still around. I can't believe I can't think of his name.
That's all right.
And we had the Beatles band with them. It was really cool.
That's very cool. Also, a guy I know you met. I don't know if you met Muhammad Ali, the champ.
I did.
I met him too. He used to remember his daughter used to run
With Bobby.
Bobby over at Jilly's, the restaurant. Absolutely.
We had him
Muhammad
there
Ali.
when we at the Hall of Fame on Taylor Street when we had we dedicated the Rocky Marciano statue. I had Jake LaMotta. I got a great picture of me holding Jake LaMotta's face and Jake LaMotta holding Muhammad Ali's face. Really cool.
Now, that's a very good picture. And don't forget Robert Ritchie, better known as Kid Rock, celebrates a birthday today.
Detroit, what?
He's fantastic at what he does, and Ron, everything that you do, and you're always. Thank you for giving me work, and thank you for all
Kevin
the work.
Costner, 67 today.
67.
Kevin
Now
Costner.
he was great when he came here.
He was here, and he opened displays for us. We built
1.5
it, and he came.
$1.5 million an episode he gets for Yellowstone.
And that's a bargain.
We got to work all year for that. So, did you hear? Did you ever hang out much at Jilly's, Ron? Oh yeah, he popped in every now and then.
I was always working on the weekends.
That's right. That's right.
This guy hung out at Chili's. I love all the Chili's guys. Though.
Yeah, which used to be
All
great.
the Crusoes.
Ron, do you know my dear friend Roberto Parisi?
Where's that at?
Right here. Greg.
Oh
Reno.
yeah, absolutely, Greg. Absolutely, sure.
Oh, now here's another guy that I love, and I always promote Dennis Finn.
Yeah.
From the Needs organization, Needs Foundation. We've had him on the show. I think it's Dennis's birthday in a couple of days. I mean, here's a guy when everything was going crazy in this world, and he came up with this on his own with a bunch of volunteers. And I don't know how many followers he's got now, but he goes out and gets things for people in need. That's why it's called Needs, and it costs the persons nothing. Bicycles,
tickets,
whatever they
Dennis.
need.
Happy to support your group.
Absolutely. And even for Thanksgiving, when he needed turkey dinners, and he came on the show, and we had like 15 listeners bought turkey dinners to give to people who needed them. And that's what we need to do now more and more as things go on. Down to our last sponsor, folks. Let's not forget Patriot Funding Incorporated. That's right, folks. Out of Roselle, Illinois, Dave Antonelli does it best. Commercial lending at its finest. Personal term loan, credit, personal cash credit, business credit cards, and personal credit cards. Dave Antonelli at 630-675-4730. Ron, what do you got coming up this weekend at the theaters? Anything?
Yeah, there's a band from the 90s called Everclear. We're very excited about that.
Great, but isn't that booze too?
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
Never drank that. Just wondering.
well, there'll be plenty of that here.
What else? Yeah.
And I think that's it for this weekend because some of the shows that we had a Flock of Seagulls.
Oh,
we moved them.
Michael Score.
Yeah, we
Oh, I
got
used to
Flock of
love that.
Seagulls
Yeah.
with Wang Chung coming.
Chung
Now we had
tonight.
to move that. Yes.
Uh,
But we still have our Sinatra Sunday.
Someone asked also about VIP packages. How do they
Yeah.
get that?
So we have a VIP program here where basically you get certain benefits. Number one, you get to you become aware of the shows before they go on sale, so you get the best seats. Also, we have meet and greet opportunities when we get them.
Yeah.
We offer them to our VIP program first. We also have special free shows for them. It's a great program. And if you just email VIP@oshows.com, we'll have somebody get back to you right
Or
away.
any tickets is oshows.com.
That's right.
And you can find everything that's coming up. Ron, before you go, the meet and greets, there's still people, I know they would do the shows, but because of the situation where there's a lot of meet and greets got canceled, they didn't want to do that.
Very
right?
few. Everclear is actually doing one, which is very strange, but there's some doing it, but many are holding off.
Well, you know what? I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
We do the Sinatra thing every year, which is always a big success.
Tommy Rowe, thank you very much.
Tommy
Al.
Rowe, Dizzy, you make me dizzy. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the song.
Dizzy.
Now we did talk real quick, so we're almost over time, but maybe Ron, the pack is back. That show,
Yeah, man, that's
Maybe we
started
can-
it all.
maybe you do maybe we can try running something
Well,
like
if you
that.
can get
again.
a whole Lonnie Parlor, we'll do it.
Well, speaking of that, there's two voices. This is It's Your Life, Ron Onesti.
Yeah.
I want you to remember, if you remember this
Oh,
voice.
no.
Are you ready? All right. Show me the money.
Yeah, you
Show,
get it,
or
buddy.
Lambus, when it was a 12 o'clock show. Lambus,
Lambus.
of course, the great Lonnie Parlor. And the last voice, here it is. Oh, two more questions. Ooh, here's the great voice. It's my show. Of course, the great John Dubia.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for John, I mean, think about
We
it.
wouldn't have met.
Never would have met, and we never would have had that
He
show.
was here. I didn't see him for 100 years. He came and saw me about 6 months ago. It was a blast from the past, man. Really wild to talk to him. He hasn't changed a bit.
He hasn't changed
Not
a
a bit.
Last question for you, Ron.
Yeah, man.
The history and everything. Is there a book in the works? Did you ever think of doing that?
Yeah, a lot. But you
Maybe
know
a
what?
picture book.
Well, actually, it's a little bit of both. So we've had great, Lou Bellatti's our photographer and been
Great.
doing it for years.
He was on the show too. Great
Yeah,
guy.
and so doing a cocktail table, coffee table book kind of a thing is something we've talked about many times. For the last 3 years or so, I've been doing a column every Friday in Daily Herald
Daily Herald.
called Backstage with Me and My Stories. And I think the concept here, I've talked to a couple of people about it, is to get all those columns, probably about, I don't even know, 200, 300 columns,
And put them all
and
together.
put them all together and just rework them a little bit. And so I think that's going to be a book project I'll be working on next
You
month.
still got Hanging and Banging. When is that on?
Every Thursday, we do it with Vinny Appice, who is the drummer of Dio and Black Sabbath.
And he was
and
brothers
Carmine
with
Appice.
they're brothers, right?
Yep.
But they pronounce their names differently, right?
It's so weird. There's three brothers. There's
Okay.
Frank, and he's a PJ.
Okay.
And there's Carmine Appice and
Okay.
Vinny Appice.
All right.
There's a whole story along with that. But every
Excellent.
Thursday we do that. Last Thursday we had Ted Nugent on. We had Weird Al on. We had just all rock and roll people. And we just hanging and banging. We're just talking. It's not a whole, what'd you do to how'd you get started? That kind of thing. Like some of the things that we do.
It
This
just-
is just more just talking about what's going on.
And what's going on in the world.
Every Thursday at 6 p.m.
Can't beat that, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ocean Spit, the little show about big things. I want to thank you all for tuning in every day like you guys do. Don't forget to check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com. Give us a call.
Congratulations what you're doing, man. Congratulations on this. This started from nothing.
I started from my
And,
phone, and we're getting there.
People
We're,
love it. People love it. Because you're doing the same thing. You're just, you do the interview thing, but it's really a hanging with a bunch of people. They got questions, they got comments.
Yeah, and
It's just-
Tuesdays they call in, and Thursdays is my wife. That's the biggest views, of course, when she's on, because and when I have guests on, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we have different kinds of guests from celebrities, and we have the everyday guy who does certain things. And we had John on the show. We had different people who talk about because everybody's got a talent.
Yeah.
There's something they have, and people want to know about it.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Talent,
I had an
experiences.
embalmer on 2 months ago.
Did you really?
An embalmer talking about what they do.
Well, since you worked out the deal with the hairpiece people, are you working out with him? Like, hey, how do I look?
No.
When he comes up to you with a freaking tape measure.
But now, see, you're already natural. Joe Nashka, the great Ronnie O.
Joe, God bless you, Joe. Hope you're feeling better,
You're
brother.
doing good. What about a cookbook? Richard Hamlin says. Now,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's great, Richard Hamlin. Fantastic. You got to love that.
My recipes are pretty non-conventional, unconventional. You'd be surprised some of the things they put in this stuff.
You just throw shit
people
in
love
and
it.
say,
I mean,
hell with
just,
it.
yeah, what's left over. No, it's something to do. So you're right. So that'll
That'd be
happen.
something good, folks. Don't forget, folks, thank you guys so much for watching. Share the page. Let everybody know about Ocean Spit. We're also on Twitter and YouTube. I guess Wednesday will be Gordon Patriacca, great bass player, Chicagoland, but he's a great fishing guide, #1 fishing guide in Wisconsin.
Wow.
Friday, my good buddy, of course, Greg Reedy, talking about our shows coming up, the Windy City Boys, starting March 11th in the Venice
I
Community
may
Center.
come out there.
You got to come out.
I
It'll be
was
fun.
in Florida a couple weeks last week, and I might come out there.
You got to come out.
You know what we got to do? That's what I decided to do this year. You got to take time for ourselves. Every couple months, I'm going away for a couple of days.
Let's
do
go
some
back to
golf.
Hoboken. Let's go back to see the first
Absolutely.
store where Fanacha made the first
Absolutely.
piece of bread.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
remember when
that's
we did
right.
the thing over
We did a whole walking tour of Sinatra.
And Ron, we got to come up with a couple of dates, folks. This May 2022 is my 30th anniversary.
Let's do it.
I want to do it maybe at Displays, band,
Let's do
we'll do
it.
it right.
We'll do
We'll
it.
get some dates going to be good.
Absolutely.
Because we had the 25th there at the Speakeasy, but the 30th is going to be good.
Yeah. let's do
Again,
it.
guys, thank you so much for everybody that tuning in, and we appreciate it very much. And the great words of Ringo Starr: peace and love. Peace and love. Be kind to anybody you can right now. Be humble and support local establishments and live entertainment. Thank you so much, Mr. Ron Onesti, my good brother. And as of course, have a great day. And ladies and gentlemen, Nick Sahajas, take us out. Bye.
Time to go, it's the end of the show. See you later from Tony O.
Yeah, cool, Nick Sahajas.
I love
Thank you,
that.
Nikki. You're the best. Thank you, Ron. God bless you. Don't forget, oshows.com. Great concerts coming here, Displays and St. Charles, and a great speakeasy. God bless everybody. Have a great day.